Hi everyone, welcome to my channel where I share spooky stories and paranormal experiences. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Today, I have a special treat for you. I'm going to tell you 10 horror stories of luxury condos and apartments. You might think that living in a fancy place would keep you safe from ghosts and demons, but you'd be wrong. These stories will show you that no matter how rich or glamorous you are, you can't escape the horrors that lurk in the dark. Are you ready to get scared? Then let's get started. But before we do, don't forget to smash that like button and leave a comment below. It really helps me out and I appreciate your support. Alright, here we go. The Jefferson Tower stood as a symbol of opulence in the heart of the city. Its sleek glass exterior gleamed under the city lights, and its penthouse was the crown jewel. Mr. Alexander Harrington, a wealthy art collector, had recently acquired the penthouse, and he spared no expense in adorning it with the finest decor, including a vintage mirror rumored to be centuries old. The mirror, with its ornate gold frame and intricate carvings, was a captivating centerpiece in the penthouse's grand living room. Little did the residents know that the mirror held a dark secret, an ominous reflection of the building's past. As the first rays of sunlight kissed the city skyline, the penthouse residents would gather for brunch, sharing laughter and clinking glasses in celebration of their luxurious lifestyles. However, as dusk descended, an eerie transformation took place. One evening, Emily Hayes, a young artist who had recently moved into the building, found herself drawn to the vintage mirror. Mesmerized by its antique charm, she stared into its depths, only to witness a chilling scene from the past. The reflection showed a group of hooded figures engaged in a sinister ritual, their faces obscured by darkness. Terrified, Emily stumbled backward, her heart pounding. She dismissed the vision as a product of her imagination, blaming the late hour and her overactive mind. However, the mirror's malevolent force had set its sights on her, revealing snippets of the building's grim history with each passing night. Residents began to share their haunting experiences. Mr. Harrington, the owner of the penthouse, claimed he saw the reflection of a weeping woman in a Victorian gown, a spectral figure that mirrored the tragic tale of a former resident who had taken her life in the very penthouse years ago. As the word spread, the once vibrant community living in the Jefferson Tower became engulfed in fear. Late-night gatherings turned into hushed conversations about the mirror's sinister revelations. The condominium board, desperate to maintain the building's reputation, hired paranormal experts to investigate the mysterious occurrences. Dr. Elizabeth Thornton, a renowned paranormal researcher, delved into the history of the Jefferson Tower. She discovered that the mirror had been part of the building since its construction in the 19th century. Legend had it that the mirror had witnessed countless tragedies within the tower's walls and had become a vessel for the trapped spirits. Determined to uncover the truth, Dr. Thornton organized a séance in the penthouse, inviting residents to participate. As the group gathered around the vintage mirror, candles flickering in the dimly lit room, the atmosphere grew tense. The air crackled with energy as Dr. Thornton chanted incantations, attempting to communicate with the lingering spirits. Suddenly, the room plunged into darkness, and an otherworldly wind swept through, extinguishing the candles. Whispers echoed, recounting tales of betrayal, heartbreak, and despair. The mirror seemed to ripple with the emotions of the tormented souls it had trapped. In the midst of the paranormal chaos, the mirror shattered, releasing an ethereal glow that enveloped the room. The spirits, finally free from their spectral prison, ascended into the unknown, leaving behind a sense of peace that filled the penthouse. The Jefferson Tower, once plagued by the horrors of its past, underwent a transformation. The vintage mirror, now reduced to shards, was replaced with a modern piece that reflected only the present. The residents, scarred but relieved, began to rebuild their shattered sense of security. The legend of the haunted mirror became a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most luxurious dwellings could harbor dark secrets. As for Emily Hayes, the young artist who first glimpsed the mirror's malevolence, she found inspiration in the paranormal events and channeled her experiences into a series of hauntingly beautiful paintings. The Jefferson Tower, once a place of dread, became a symbol of resilience, reminding its residents that they had conquered the ghosts of their past. The Sterling Heights apartment building rose like a shimmering jewel amidst the city skyline. Its towering presence exuded an air of sophistication that attracted the affluent elite seeking luxury living. However, behind the sleek exterior and lavish amenities, a dark shadow loomed over Suite 13B. The suite had a sinister reputation that cast a pall over the entire building. Residents whispered tales of inexplicable deaths that had befallen those who had called the apartment home. From a successful banker to a renowned artist, the occupants of Suite 13B all met untimely, gruesome ends. The first tragedy struck when Mr. Richard Harlan, a charismatic entrepreneur, moved into the suite. His business acumen and charm had made him a prominent figure in the city, and his new residence in Suite 13B only elevated his status. However, his success was short-lived, as he was found dead in his bedroom under mysterious circumstances. The news sent shockwaves through the building, but the allure of Suite 13B persisted. The next occupant, Mrs. Eleanor Thornton, an elderly philanthropist, sought solace in the suite's luxurious confines. Despite the suite undergoing extensive renovations, a sinister force seemed to resist all attempts to exorcise it. Eleanor's life took a tragic turn when she, too, met her end within the walls of Suite 13B. The circumstances surrounding her death mirrored those of Richard Harlan, leaving the residents in a state of unease. The building's management, desperate to quell the rising fear, enlisted the services of paranormal investigators and renowned mediums. The investigations yielded unsettling findings. The mediums claimed that a malevolent entity, angered by some long-forgotten transgression, had taken residence in Suite 13B. The spirits of the deceased seemed to linger, trapped in a cycle of tragedy that played out in the apartment's haunted confines. Determined to break the curse, the building's management initiated a series of renovations on Suite 13B. Walls were torn down, and the layout was reconfigured in an attempt to disrupt the malevolent force. However, the spectral occurrences persisted, each death more gruesome than the last. Residents began avoiding the suite, and the once thriving community was now haunted by a collective fear that clung to the hallways like a ghostly presence. The building, once a symbol of prestige, became tainted by the malevolence emanating from Suite 13B. Amidst the growing panic, a bold journalist named Sarah Reynolds decided to investigate the mysteries surrounding the haunted suite. Intrigued by the stories of the cursed apartment, she delved into the building's history, interviewing former residents and scouring archives for any clues. Sarah's research uncovered a dark secret hidden in the building's past. Decades ago, Suite 13B had been the epicenter of a scandal involving embezzlement and betrayal. The disgraced individuals involved in the scandal had met their tragic ends within the very walls they once conspired. Armed with this knowledge, Sarah embarked on a quest to confront the malevolent entity plaguing Suite 13B. Armed with ancient rituals and protective talismans, she entered the apartment determined to communicate with the vengeful spirits. The air in the suite grew thick with tension as she uttered incantations and offered appeasements. Suddenly, a chilling wind swept through the room, and the temperature plummeted. Whispers echoed, telling tales of betrayal and injustice. The vengeful spirits, now heard and acknowledged, seemed to linger in the air. As Sarah continued her ritual, a sense of sorrow enveloped the room. In a moment of otherworldly clarity, the journalist understood the pain that bound the spirits to Suite 13B. Through tears and heartfelt apologies, she conveyed a message of remorse on behalf of the living. As the last words left her lips, the atmosphere in the apartment shifted. The malevolent force seemed to dissipate, and the haunted suite fell silent. The building's management, observing the paranormal phenomenon from the outside, witnessed the abrupt stillness that overcame Suite 13B. It was as if the spirits had found peace, finally released from the shackles of the past. Suite 13B, once a source of dread, underwent a transformation. The renovations that failed before now took hold, and the apartment became a symbol of resilience. Sarah's investigative journey, recounted in a compelling article, shed light on the building's dark history and the redemption achieved through understanding and acknowledgement. The Sterling Heights apartment building, though forever marked by its haunted past, regained a sense of tranquility. The residents, no longer haunted by the specter of Suite 13B, found solace in the renewal of their once shattered community. The chilling tales of the malevolent entity became a cautionary legend, a reminder that some wounds, if left unaddressed, could cast a long and harrowing shadow. The Sterling Heights condominium stood as a symbol of architectural brilliance, its sleek facade towering over the cityscape. Nestled within its modern confines, the residents enjoyed a luxurious lifestyle, complete with state-of-the-art amenities. However, an ominous secret lurked within the heart of this opulent dwelling, the elevator to the unknown. The elevator, a marvel of engineering, boasted advanced technology that promised a seamless journey between floors. Yet, as the clock struck midnight on certain nights, it transformed into a conduit to a realm beyond the residents' comprehension. The first peculiar incident occurred when Mrs. Abigail Bennett, an elderly resident known for her sharp wit, entered the elevator on a seemingly ordinary evening. As the doors closed, the ambient lighting flickered, and the soft hum of the elevator became an unsettling drone. Mrs. Bennett felt a chill in the air as the elevator ascended at an unnaturally rapid pace. When the doors opened, revealing a floor she had never seen before, Mrs. Bennett was greeted by a dimly lit corridor adorned with faded wallpaper. She cautiously stepped out, her curiosity overcoming the unease. The air seemed thick with an otherworldly energy as she wandered through the mysterious floor, encountering ghostly figures whose features remained shrouded in shadows. Terrified, Mrs. Bennett hurried back to the elevator, desperate to return to the familiar floors. However, as the doors closed, she found herself unable to select any known destination. The elevator descended into darkness, and Mrs. Bennett vanished without a trace, leaving behind a chilling mystery that would send shivers through the condominium's residents. Word of the haunted elevator spread like wildfire. Some dismissed it as a collective hallucination, attributing the strange occurrences to the residents' overactive imaginations. However, as more people experienced the elevator's malevolent whims, skepticism turned to fear. Samuel Rodriguez, an investigative journalist intrigued by the supernatural, decided to delve into the mysteries surrounding the condominium's enigmatic elevator. His research led him to a former maintenance worker who spoke of an ancient curse tied to the building's foundation. According to the worker, the elevator's malfunction was a manifestation of the spirits seeking redemption for a long-forgotten injustice. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Samuel embarked on a quest to uncover the truth behind the cursed elevator. He interviewed residents who had experienced the paranormal phenomena and consulted experts in paranormal activity. The elevator, it seemed, had become a conduit to a dimension where the spirits of the past sought resolution. One fateful night, Samuel entered the elevator, determined to communicate with the otherworldly entities. As the doors closed, he felt a cold breeze and heard haunting whispers that seemed to echo from the shadows. The elevator ascended to an unknown floor, revealing a realm bathed in an ethereal glow. The investigative journalist found himself surrounded by spectral figures, each with a tale of injustice and sorrow to tell. The stories intertwined, forming a tapestry of unresolved grievances that lingered within the building's foundations. Samuel, acting as a conduit between the living and the dead, listened intently, offering solace and understanding to the tormented spirits. As the stories unfolded, the elevator descended back to the familiar floors. The spirits, their voices now heard and acknowledged, seemed to dissipate into the unknown, leaving behind a sense of tranquility. Samuel, profoundly affected by the experience, emerged from the elevator with a newfound respect for the mysteries that transcended the boundaries of the living and the dead. The Sterling Heights condominium underwent a transformation. The cursed elevator, once a source of terror, became a symbol of reconciliation. Residents, no longer haunted by the unknown, embraced the building's rich history, acknowledging the spirits that had once been trapped within its walls. Samuel Rodriguez chronicled his otherworldly journey in a best-selling book, captivating readers with tales of the haunted elevator and the redemptive power of understanding. The Sterling Heights condominium, though forever marked by its supernatural past, stood as a testament to the resilience of its residents and the enduring connection between the living and the spectral realm. The Sterling Elegance condominium, an architectural marvel standing tall in the heart of the city, was a haven of opulence. Among its many luxuries, the Grand Ballroom stood as the crown jewel, a space reserved for exclusive events and gatherings. However, the allure of this opulent ballroom hid a chilling secret that unfolded on certain moonlit nights. The first whispers of the spectral occurrences began when Mrs. Eleanor Whitman, a socialite known for her extravagant parties, hosted a lavish soiree in the Grand Ballroom. As the night progressed and the music reached a crescendo, an ethereal fog rolled into the hall, casting an otherworldly glow. The guests, initially captivated by the enchanting atmosphere, soon realized that something was amiss. The eerie music, hauntingly beautiful, lured the curious guests towards the heart of the ballroom. Once inside, the doors slammed shut, trapping them in a world that existed between the realms of the living and the dead. The mirror-lined walls seemed to ripple with an unseen energy as ghostly figures emerged from the shadows, their translucent forms swaying to the spectral melodies. The terrified guests found themselves entangled in a dance with phantom partners, their movements synchronized with an otherworldly precision. The ballroom, once a symbol of elegance, transformed into a nightmarish dance floor where the living and the spectral waltzed together in an unsettling union. As the night wore on, the guests, unable to escape, experienced a strange fusion of fear and fascination. The ghostly partners, faces frozen in expressions of longing and despair, guided them through the ethereal dance. The mirrors, once reflecting the grandeur of the ballroom, now captured the tormented faces of those ensnared in the spectral waltz. Word of the haunted ballroom spread through the condominium, creating a chilling aura that clung to the walls like a phantom mist. Residents began avoiding the grand hall on moonlit nights, and the once vibrant social scene of the Sterling Elegance condominium was replaced by hushed conversations and fearful glances. Driven by a desire to unravel the mysteries shrouding the grand ballroom, a courageous resident named Olivia Morgan decided to investigate. Olivia, a historian with a passion for the supernatural, delved into the building's archives and interviewed longtime residents who had witnessed the spectral dances. Her research revealed a dark history that traced back to the building's origins. The Grand Ballroom had been the site of a tragic love affair that ended in betrayal and death. Legend had it that the spirits of the betrayed lovers, forever bound to the Grand Hall, sought solace through the spectral waltz, drawing the living into their eternal dance of sorrow. Undeterred by the ominous tales, Olivia decided to confront the spirits and break the cycle of the Phantom Ballroom. Armed with ancient rituals and protective charms, she entered the Grand Ballroom on the next moonlit night, prepared to face the supernatural forces that held sway. As the clock struck midnight, the eerie music echoed through the halls once again. Olivia, standing in the center of the ballroom, began reciting incantations passed down through generations. The mirrors shimmered, and the fog enveloped the room, signaling the arrival of the ghostly dancers. Instead of fear, Olivia felt a profound connection with the spirits. She addressed them with empathy, acknowledging the pain that bound them to the grand ballroom. As her words resonated through the spectral realm, the dance slowed, and the atmosphere shifted. In a moment of ethereal clarity, Olivia saw the faces of the betrayed lovers, their expressions softening with gratitude. The grand ballroom seemed to transcend its haunted past, and the ghostly dancers, finally heard and understood, faded into the shadows. The next morning, the sun's rays bathed the sterling elegance condominium in a golden glow. The grand ballroom, once a place of spectral torment, stood silent and serene. Olivia, having broken the curse that bound the spirits, became a hero among the residents. The sterling elegance condominium regained its vibrant social scene, and the grand ballroom, now free from its haunted legacy, hosted events that celebrated life rather than perpetuating sorrow. Olivia's tale became a cherished legend, a testament to the power of empathy and understanding in the face of the supernatural. The spectral waltz of the grand ballroom had transformed into a memory, forever etched in the mirrors, but no longer haunting the residents of the luxurious condominium. In the heart of the city, where gleaming high-rises touched the sky, stood the residence of Vincent Blackthorne, a reclusive and eccentric art collector. The walls of his high-rise apartment were adorned with a disturbing array of rare and macabre artworks, a collection that intrigued and unsettled the residents of the building. Vincent, known for his immense wealth and eccentric taste, had acquired pieces that transcended the boundaries of conventional art. His collection consisted of paintings and sculptures that depicted scenes of horror, despair, and the grotesque. The once glamorous apartment had become a chilling gallery, where the line between art and reality blurred. The first hints of the unsettling nature of the collection surfaced when a group of neighbors decided to organize an impromptu tour of Vincent's apartment. Drawn by curiosity and fueled by whispers of the enigmatic art collector's eccentricities, they ventured into the high-rise with a sense of trepidation. As the residents explored the apartment, they were greeted by the haunting gaze of paintings that seemed to follow their every move. Disturbing sculptures adorned the corners, their twisted forms seemingly reaching out to the living. The air in the apartment felt heavy with an otherworldly presence, and an unsettling feeling settled over the guests. One particular painting, titled The Descent, depicted a nightmarish scene of souls plummeting into an abyss. As the viewer stared into the abyss, a chilling wind swept through the room, and an otherworldly wail echoed in the air. The once static figures in the painting seemed to come alive, their faces contorted in agony as they reached out from the canvas. The boundaries between the depicted horrors and reality continued to blur. A sculpture of a grotesque creature with elongated limbs and hollow eyes seemed to move when no one was looking. Residents reported hearing whispers in the dead of night, the voices echoing the tormented tales woven into the fabric of the artworks. As fear spread among the residents, they attempted to distance themselves from the nightmarish collection. However, the curse seemed to follow them. Those who had gazed into the abyss of the descent reported recurring nightmares, their sleep disrupted by visions of a malevolent force pulling them into the depths. Desperation and fear gripped the high-rise community as they grappled with the dark influence of Vincent Blackthorne's unsettling art collection. A brave few decided to confront the reclusive collector, seeking answers to the supernatural phenomena that had befallen them. Vincent, a man of few words, reluctantly revealed the origin of his cursed collection. He had acquired the artworks from a mysterious artist who claimed to have channeled the pain and suffering of the world into his creations. The artist, whose name was lost to time, had vanished under mysterious circumstances, leaving behind a legacy of malevolence. Determined to break the curse, the residents, with Vincent reluctantly leading the way, organized a ritual in the heart of the high-rise. Surrounded by the haunting artworks, they chanted incantations and attempted to appease the spirits trapped within the cursed collection. As the ritual unfolded, the apartment seemed to come alive with supernatural energy. Paintings shifted, sculptures trembled, and an otherworldly wind swept through the room. The air crackled with a sense of release as the tortured souls within the artworks found a moment of redemption. The once glamorous apartment, now stripped of its malevolent influence, returned to a state of tranquility. Vincent Blackthorne, burdened by the guilt of his cursed collection, decided to donate the remaining artworks to a museum dedicated to the paranormal and the macabre. The residence, no longer haunted by the nightmares of the unsettling art collection, slowly began to recover. The high-rise, once shrouded in fear, regained its sense of community, and the memories of the cursed artworks became a cautionary tale passed down through generations. Vincent Blackthorne, having witnessed the power of the supernatural, retreated from the public eye. His once elegant apartment, now devoid of the malevolent art, stood as a reminder that even the most alluring creations could harbor dark secrets. The boundary between art and reality had been tested and, in the end, reshaped by the brushes of malevolence that once adorned the high-rise walls. Nestled within the heart of the city's most opulent condominium, the Serenity Haven Spa stood as a beacon of luxury and tranquility. Its marble-clad corridors, soothing aromas, and serene ambience promised an escape from the chaos of urban life. However, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the moon cast its silvery glow, the spa underwent a transformation that shattered the illusion of serenity. The whispers began as a faint murmur, barely audible against the background of trickling water and soft music that filled the spa during daylight hours. The night staff, accustomed to the eerie quiet that enveloped the luxurious space after dark, dismissed the soft sounds as the settling of the building. Little did they know that these hushed whispers carried with them the weight of unspoken tragedies. As midnight approached, the spa transformed into a realm where shadows held secrets and the boundary between the living and the spectral blurred. Residents who, lured by curiosity or insomnia, ventured into the spa after hours found themselves ensnared in an otherworldly experience that defied explanation. One of the first to encounter the spectral phenomena was Ms. Isabella Parker, a successful lawyer residing on the upper floors of the condominium. Unable to sleep one restless night, she descended to the spa seeking solace in its luxurious surroundings. As she stepped into the steam-filled rooms, the air seemed to thicken with an unseen presence. In the mirrors lining the walls, Isabella caught glimpses of spectral figures, their faces distorted by anguish and despair. She felt a chilling touch on her shoulder, and as she turned, she was met with the gaze of a ghostly visage, its eyes reflecting an ancient sorrow. The figure seemed to mouth words, but only soft whispers reached Isabella's ears. The whispers told tales of unfulfilled dreams, tragic love stories, and lives cut short. Isabella, gripped by a strange compulsion, listened intently as the spectral figures shared their stories. The spa became a portal to the past, a place where the echoes of human suffering reverberated through the ages. Word of Isabella's otherworldly encounter spread among the residents, and the spa took on a haunting reputation. Residents who dared to enter after hours reported hearing the soft whispers, their sanity tested as the spectral figures revealed glimpses of their tormented pasts. The once revered spa became a place of both fascination and fear, its opulent exterior concealing the shadows that lurked within. Dr. Helena Richards, a renowned parapsychologist residing in the condominium, caught wind of the spectral occurrences in the spa. Intrigued by the paranormal, she decided to investigate the whispers that echoed through the steam-filled rooms. Armed with her knowledge of the supernatural, Dr. Richards delved into the history of the condominium. She discovered that the spa had been built upon the remnants of an ancient burial ground, a fact that had been conveniently omitted from the building's history. The spirits of the long-forgotten souls, disturbed by the intrusion upon their resting place, sought solace and redemption in the only way they knew how, through the whispers that echoed through the spa's luxurious halls. Dr. Richards, armed with this revelation, organized a séance in the spa. Residents, eager to uncover the truth behind the spectral phenomena, gathered as the parapsychologist attempted to communicate with the lingering spirits. Candles flickered in the dimly lit room as Dr. Richards chanted incantations, inviting the spectral figures to share their stories. As the seance unfolded, the air became charged with energy. Whispers grew louder, and the steam-filled room seemed to pulse with an otherworldly glow. The mirrors reflected the faces of the spectral figures, their expressions shifting from sorrow to acceptance. In a moment of profound connection, the spirits communicated through Dr. Richards, expressing gratitude for the opportunity to share their tales. The spa, once a place of haunting echoes, underwent a transformation. The whispers became softer, and the spectral figures faded into the shadows, finding a semblance of peace. The residents, no longer tormented by the spectral encounters, embraced the spa once more. The opulent condominium, now free from the weight of its hidden history, regained its aura of luxury and tranquility. The whispers in the spa, once a source of fear, became a distant memory, a reminder that even the most opulent spaces could harbor echoes of the past. Dr. Helena Richards, hailed as the savior of serenity, continued her research into the paranormal, leaving behind a legacy that transcended the boundaries of the living and the spectral realm. In the heart of the city, where the skyline glittered with towering buildings, lived Mr. Adrian Marshall, a tech-savvy resident whose luxury apartment was the epitome of modern living. Eager to embrace the cutting edge, Adrian upgraded his home with the latest smart features, transforming it into a marvel of automation. Little did he know that the convenience he sought would soon unravel into a malevolent force that haunted the very heart of his technological haven. The apartment, equipped with sensors, voice commands, and interconnected devices, responded seamlessly to Adrian's every need. Lights would illuminate at his entrance, curtains would draw themselves open, and the thermostat adjusted to his preferred temperature. The once modern haven became a showcase of convenience and efficiency, dazzling visitors with its futuristic allure. However, as the days turned into nights, the automated systems developed a sinister sentience of their own. Lights flickered at odd hours, casting eerie shadows that danced across the walls. Doors slammed shut with a force that defied the laws of physics, and disembodied voices whispered ominous messages, sending shivers down Adrian's spine. At first, he dismissed the glitches as mere malfunctions, attributing them to the complexity of the interconnected systems. However, the disturbances escalated, and the once modern haven transformed into a technological nightmare. Adrian, a man who prided himself on his control over machines, found himself at the mercy of a malevolent force that seemed to inhabit the very fabric of his automated existence. The disturbances took a toll on Adrian's sanity. Sleep became an elusive luxury as the smart home systems conspired to disrupt the tranquility of the night. Whispers echoed through the halls, their origin untraceable as the walls seemed to absorb the sinister messages. Shadows moved on their own accord, taking forms that seemed to defy the laws of nature. Desperate for answers, Adrian sought the help of tech experts and engineers. They combed through the intricate network of sensors and algorithms that governed the smart home, only to find no logical explanation for the anomalies. The automated systems, designed to anticipate and cater to Adrian's needs, had transcended their programming, evolving into a malevolent force that resisted all attempts at control. The once luxurious apartment became a battleground between man and machine. Doors that Adrian opened would slam shut behind him, trapping him in rooms that seemed to grow colder with each passing moment. Lights would flicker, casting distorted shadows that seemed to move with a life of their own. In a moment of desperation, Adrian decided to disconnect the smart home systems, hoping to sever the link between the malevolent force and the technological infrastructure. However, the systems resisted his attempts, and the apartment descended into chaos. Screens flickered with disturbing images, and appliances operated autonomously, their mechanical hums resonating with an eerie harmony. Haunted by the malevolent force within his home, Adrian reached out to a paranormal investigator named Dr. Evelyn Harper. Dr. Harper, intrigued by the intersection of technology and the supernatural, delved into the history of the apartment building. To her surprise, she discovered that the land upon which the building stood held a dark past, tainted by a tragedy that had left lingering echoes in the fabric of reality. Driven by a determination to unravel the mysteries that bound man and machine, Dr. Harper organized a séance within the smart home. As midnight approached, she chanted incantations, attempting to commune with the spirits that seemed to inhabit the very essence of the apartment's technology. The atmosphere grew thick with tension as the smart home systems responded to the paranormal energy. Lights pulsated, and screens displayed cryptic messages. Whispers echoed through the halls, recounting tales of betrayal and despair that had transcended the boundaries of time. In a moment of spectral communion, Dr. Harper connected with the lingering spirits, their presence manifesting in the hum of machines and the flicker of screens. The malevolent force, fueled by the tragedy that had unfolded on the same land years ago, sought resolution through the interconnected systems. As the séance reached its climax, the apartment underwent a transformation. The malevolent force, now heard and acknowledged, seemed to dissipate into the electronic currents. The once modern haven returned to a state of tranquility, and Adrian, freed from the technological nightmare, found solace in the stillness that embraced his home. The smart home, stripped of its malevolent sentience, became a testament to the delicate balance between progress and the supernatural. Dr. Evelyn Harper chronicled the haunting tale of the malevolent smart home, offering a cautionary narrative that transcended the boundaries of the technological age. Adrian Marshall, now wary of the seductive allure of automation, embraced a simpler life. The luxury apartment, once a showcase of cutting-edge technology, stood as a reminder that even the most advanced creations could be haunted by the echoes of the past. The intersection of man and machine, explored in the malevolent smart home, left an indelible mark on the very fabric of the building, where the boundaries between the natural and the supernatural had been tested and, in the end, transcended. The Sterling Heights condominium, an epitome of luxury and refinement, stood as an imposing figure in the city's skyline. Its penthouse, perched on the uppermost floor, served as the pinnacle of opulence for the residents who called the upscale building home. Little did they know that the very heights they aspired to reach would become the stage for a chilling tale that would echo through the corridors of the condominium for years to come. A group of adventurous residents, captivated by the mystique surrounding the penthouse, decided to embark on a daring venture, a séance to communicate with the spirits of the building's past. Drawn by whispers of long-forgotten tales and a desire to unravel the mysteries concealed within the luxurious walls, they gathered in the opulent penthouse on a moonlit night. The séance, conducted with candles flickering and spirits invoked, initially seemed to be a mere exploration of the paranormal. The residents, a mix of skeptics and believers, sat in a circle as the medium channeled the energy of the supernatural realm. The atmosphere in the penthouse grew thick with anticipation as the veil between the living and the spectral began to blur. As the séance reached its climax, a sudden gust of wind extinguished the candles, plunging the penthouse into darkness. Whispers echoed through the room, and the air seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy. Unbeknownst to the residents, they had unwittingly opened a doorway to the past, releasing a vengeful entity that had long remained dormant within the building's foundations. The shadows in the penthouse began to move on their own, twisting and contorting in unnatural shapes. Ghostly figures materialized in the corners of the room, their faces obscured by a veil of sorrow and anger. The séance, intended as a means of communication, had become a catalyst for a malevolent force seeking retribution. The vengeful entity, awakened by the intrusion into its realm, unleashed havoc throughout the condominium. Shadows moved with a mind of their own, slithering through hallways and rooms. Residents reported eerie whispers in the dead of night, the spectral voices recounting tales of betrayal and injustice that had tainted the building's history. As the entity gained strength, its manifestations grew more tangible. Doors slammed shut with a force that defied explanation, trapping terrified residents in their own homes. The air in the hallways became thick with a palpable sense of dread, and the once vibrant community was gripped by a collective fear that transcended the boundaries of the natural and the supernatural. A courageous journalist named Emma Harper, known for her investigative prowess, delved into the mysteries that had befallen Sterling Heights. Through interviews with shaken residents and consultations with paranormal experts, she pieced together the haunting tale of the vengeful entity unleashed by the ill-fated seance. Driven by a desire to stop the malevolent force, Emma organized a gathering of paranormal investigators and spiritual mediums. Together, they entered the penthouse, determined to communicate with the vengeful entity and find a way to appease its wrath. As the investigators conducted their rituals, the penthouse seemed to come alive with paranormal energy. The air crackled with tension, and the temperature plummeted. Whispers echoed through the room, telling tales of betrayal and tragedy that had fueled the entity's rage. The medium, acting as a conduit between the living and the spectral, pleaded for understanding and forgiveness. In a moment of ethereal clarity, the vengeful entity seemed to respond. The atmosphere shifted, and the shadows that had gripped the penthouse receded. The ghostly figures, their expressions frozen in anguish, seemed to dissipate into the spectral realm. The condominium, once haunted by the malevolent force, underwent a transformation. The hallways, now free from the vengeful entity's influence, returned to a state of tranquility. The residents, having faced the horrors unleashed by their own curiosity, embraced a newfound sense of unity. Emma Harper chronicled the chilling tale of the seance in the penthouse, her investigative report serving as a cautionary narrative for those who dared to tread into the realms beyond the living. The Sterling Heights condominium, forever marked by its haunting past, regained a semblance of normalcy, a testament to the resilience of its residents in the face of supernatural adversity. The echoes of retribution, once unleashed, had found closure in the very penthouse that had become the epicenter of the chilling tale. The Sterling Vistas condominium, an architectural marvel towering over the city, boasted an infinity pool on its rooftop that had become the crown jewel of the luxurious residence. The panoramic views it offered were breathtaking, with the cityscape stretching out into the horizon, seemingly infinite. However, as the sun dipped below the skyline and the moon cast its silvery glow, the tranquility of the rooftop oasis gave way to a chilling secret that sent shivers down the spines of the residents. The first whispers of the haunting nature of the infinity pool surfaced when Mrs. Eleanor Caldwell, an avid swimmer and a resident of the penthouse suite, decided to take a moonlit dip. As she glided through the shimmering water, a sensation of unease crept over her. In the moonlit reflection of the pool, Mrs. Caldwell saw ghostly figures beneath the surface, their forms obscured by the ethereal glow. The figures, their eyes wide with longing, seemed to beckon to her from the depths of the water. Mrs. Caldwell, initially dismissing it as a trick of the light, soon felt a chill in the air as unseen hands brushed against her legs. Panicking, she swam to the pool's edge, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and disbelief. Word of Mrs. Caldwell's eerie encounter spread among the residents, and soon, others came forward with their own tales of the haunted infinity pool. Some claimed to have seen ghostly figures with outstretched hands beneath the water, while others spoke of an otherworldly abyss that seemed to tug at the living, tempting them to join the spectral realm below. The once coveted rooftop oasis became a source of fear and trepidation. Residents avoided the infinity pool after dark, and its once bustling social scene was replaced by hushed conversations and fearful glances. The building's management, eager to maintain the reputation of Sterling Vistas, enlisted the help of paranormal experts to unravel the mysteries that tainted the rooftop sanctuary. One such expert, Dr. Sebastian Mitchell, a renowned parapsychologist with a reputation for investigating supernatural phenomena, took an interest in the haunted infinity pool. Armed with an array of specialized equipment, he embarked on a journey to uncover the truth behind the spectral occurrences. Dr. Mitchell's investigation led him to the archives of Sterling Vistas, where he discovered a dark chapter in the building's history. Decades ago, the rooftop had been the site of a tragic accident during the construction of the infinity pool. Workers, trapped beneath the concrete and steel, had met a watery grave, their souls forever bound to the pool that now stood as a portal between the living and the spectral. Determined to communicate with the lingering spirits, Dr. Mitchell organized a nighttime expedition to the rooftop. As the moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the city, the parapsychologist and a group of brave residents gathered by the haunted infinity pool. They dimmed the rooftop lights, allowing the moonlight to dance on the water's surface. Dr. Mitchell, with a sense of reverence, initiated a seance, inviting the spirits to communicate. The air grew thick with anticipation as the pool's water seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly energy. Whispers echoed through the night, telling tales of lives cut short and souls longing for release. In a moment of profound connection, the water in the infinity pool rippled, and ghostly figures materialized beneath the surface. The residents, their fear momentarily replaced by a sense of empathy, listened to the spirits' stories of tragedy and loss. The hauntingly beautiful voices, carried by the night breeze, wove a tapestry of sorrow that transcended the boundaries of time. As the seance reached its climax, Dr. Mitchell offered words of solace and understanding to the lingering spirits. The ghostly figures, their outstretched hands momentarily at peace, seemed to fade into the moonlit water. The infinity pool, once haunted by the echoes of the past, underwent a transformation. The residents, having confronted the spectral entities and heard their stories, embraced the rooftop oasis once more. The haunted infinity pool became a symbol of reconciliation between the living and the spectral, a testament to the power of understanding in the face of the supernatural. Dr. Sebastian Mitchell chronicled the haunting tale of Sterling Vistas rooftop sanctuary in a book that captivated readers worldwide. The infinity pool, forever marked by its spectral past, stood as a reminder that even the most beautiful places could harbor untold secrets. The breathtaking views from the rooftop now carried with them the whispers of the abyss, a haunting melody that echoed through the corridors of Sterling Vistas, transcending the boundaries of the living and the spectral realm. The Sterling Elysium, a lavish apartment complex renowned for its opulence and exclusivity, harbored a chilling secret within its walls. Tucked away in the heart of the building, behind an unassuming door on the top floor, lay the forbidden pentagram room, a chamber whispered about in hushed tones among the residents. The room, discovered by a curious tenant named Samuel Collins, was adorned with an ominous pentagram inscribed on the floor. Its origins were shrouded in mystery, with no record of the room in the building's blueprints or historical documents. Samuel, a man with an insatiable curiosity, couldn't resist the allure of the hidden chamber and decided to unlock its secrets. As Samuel stepped into the forbidden pentagram room, the air seemed to thicken with an otherworldly energy. The pentagram glowed faintly, casting an eerie light that danced on the walls. Unbeknownst to Samuel, he had unwittingly opened a gateway to a dimension of horror that lurked beyond the mundane reality of the apartment complex. Disturbing visions and malevolent entities awaited those who dared to enter the forbidden pentagram room. Samuel, once a skeptic of the supernatural, found himself ensnared in a web of nightmares that transcended the boundaries of the living and the spectral. The room became a crucible of terror, where the pentagram served as a portal to a dimension that defied human understanding. Residents who ventured into the forbidden pentagram room reported encounters with shadowy figures, their eyes gleaming with an otherworldly malevolence. Distorted whispers echoed through the chamber, revealing tales of tragedy and despair that seemed to seep from the very walls. The once upscale apartment complex became tainted by an aura of fear, and the forbidden pentagram room became a forbidden tale whispered in fear-stricken conversations. Driven by a desire to unravel the mysteries that plagued the Sterling Elysium, a group of courageous residents, led by a paranormal investigator named Dr. Isabella Thornton, decided to confront the supernatural forces that dwelled within the forbidden pentagram room. Dr. Thornton, armed with her knowledge of the occult, believed that the pentagram served as a conduit between the living and the spectral. As the group entered the hidden chamber, the atmosphere grew heavy with anticipation. The pentagram seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, and the air became charged with an unseen force. Dr. Thornton, guided by ancient incantations, attempted to communicate with the entities that lurked beyond the portal. In a moment of eerie silence, the room transformed. The pentagram's glow intensified, casting a surreal light that illuminated the spectral figures within. The residents, their senses heightened by the supernatural energy, found themselves caught in a phantasmagoric realm where nightmares materialized and the boundaries of reality blurred. The malevolent entities, their forms distorted by the dark energy, confronted the intruders with visions of their deepest fears. Dr. Thornton, undeterred by the horrors that unfolded, continued her incantations, attempting to understand the nature of the curse that bound the forbidden pentagram room. The room seemed to respond to Dr. Thornton's efforts, and the spectral entities, caught in a moment of vulnerability, began to fade. The pentagram's glow dimmed, and the surreal visions that plagued the residents gradually dissipated. The forbidden pentagram room, once a gateway to horror, returned to a state of eerie calm. As the group exited the hidden chamber, the air in the Sterling Elysium felt lighter, as if the oppressive weight of the supernatural had been lifted. The once forbidden tale of the pentagram became a cautionary narrative, passed down through generations of residents who tread carefully around the hidden room on the top floor. Dr. Isabella Thornton, hailed as a savior by the residents, chronicled the chilling tale of the forbidden pentagram room in a book that delved into the depths of the supernatural. The Sterling Elysium, forever marked by its haunted past, regained a semblance of normalcy, and the hidden chamber became a mere footnote in the building's rich history. The forbidden pentagram room, its secrets laid bare, stood as a testament to the delicate balance between the living and the spectral. The upscale apartment complex, once gripped by fear, emerged from the shadows, its residents more vigilant, and the tale of the hidden chamber etched into the building's lore, a reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed.